Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown video for this week of December 26th, 2017. Turned 27. Also would have been the 47th birthday of China and the 50th birthday of former WCW star Jerry the Wall Tuitt. Paige may have suffered some type of injury, as a fan describes bad injury at a live event in Long Island, New York. The incident came during Absolution's six-woman tag match against Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James, as Paige took a kick to the back from Banks. The match was stopped and a stretcher was called for, but Paige ended up walking to her locker room on her own. As a fan from Twitter by the name of @NickHershon, and can be found in this link, Paige injured during match at WWE Uniondale. Scary moment as stretcher was brought out. This was a shoot, not a part of the show. WWE, LIWB, and on that link. Kyle Lewis at Keep It 5-star. Really bad injury to Paige at WWE Uniondale. Stretcher was coming out. Match stopped. Paige left the ring with no stretcher, but with doctor's help. Might have been a shoulder injury. Thankfully, she did not need the stretcher. It's worth noting that Hideo Itami did not use his GTS finisher to defeat Jack Gallagher on last night's 205 episode. Itami wrestled Jack Gallagher in the opening contest and defeated him with a variation of Neville's Rings of Saturn submission. Also noted that Itami broke Brian Kendrick's nose and orbital bone with the GTS during the finish to their match on Monday Night Raw. And there's a video of that from Raw as the Itami versus Gallagher match. As WWE announced that last night, Brian Kendrick suffered a broken orbital bone and a broken nose while taking a stiff GTS from Hideo Itami on Monday's Raw from Chicago. WWE later announced on 205 Live that Kendrick is expected to be out of action for 2 months due to the injury. Though Brian Kendrick sustained a broken nose and broken orbital bone in his loss to Hideo Itami last night on Raw. And that can be found at that link. The injuries occurred when Itami, the newest addition to Raw's Cruiserweight division, his Raw debut, struck Kendrick with his signature Go to Sleep. During a match between the Brian Kendrick and Hideo Itami, Itami performed a GTS, and during that maneuver, Kendrick was struck in the left eye and the inner aspect of the nose. WWE senior ringside physician Dr. Chris Amann told WWE.com, quote, a fracture was suspected, and he was taken to a local emergency care facility in Chicago, where a CT scan confirmed a diagnosis of an orbital wall fracture and a minimally displaced nasal bridge fracture. The orbital wall fracture penetrated the maxillary sinus without muscle or nerve entrapment, Amann explained. At this time, the injury appears non-surgical. We will be following it closely and making sure everything heals appropriately and that surgery is not needed, Amann said. WWE U.S. Champion Dolph Ziggler left the title laying in the ring last week, apparently relinquishing it just 2 days after winning the title at the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. It was also announced on tonight's SmackDown that General Manager Daniel Bryan was that there will be a tournament to crown a new champion, beginning tonight with Bobby Roode versus former champion Baron Corbin in the first round match. The storyline is that Bryan has been trying to contact Ziggler for the past week, but Ziggler has ignored him. Bryan said Ziggler's actions show that he has voluntarily relinquished the U.S. title, which is why he's announcing the tournament. Also noted that before Ziggler was scheduled to be off upcoming SmackDown TV tapings to sell the mystery storyline, but he would still be working with WWE live events. No word yet on if he will be working as the champion now that the tournament has been announced and there was a winner. Stay tuned for the results of the rest of the tournament. And here's a video of the opening SmackDown segment with Bryan's announcement, which I'll also explain in the results. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable become the new #1 contenders by winning the triple threat over the New Day and Rusev and Aiden English. They will get their title shot from SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, on the first SmackDown of 2018, which takes place next Tuesday night from Orlando. And here's the post-match celebration link. It may have not been shown on SmackDown. Whatever. The dark match before SmackDown near Chicago saw Mojo Rawley defeat former tag team partner Zack Ryder. And they're still going with that story down there. Final SmackDown of 2017 opened up with a normal video package. Live from Allstate Arena near Chicago as Tom Phillips welcomes us. He's joined in by Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. We'll go right to the ring. Out comes SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan. And then you can go back to that link that I told you about when I posted earlier. Fans chanted for Bryan as Graves helped Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles in a non-title match for later on in the evening. Bryan said it's great to be back in Chicago as the crowd popped. Bryan showed us a video of U.S. Champion Dolph Ziggler leaving the title in the ring last week. Just days after winning the title at Clash of Champions, Bryan says he's been trying to call Ziggler all week, but he's not calling back or texting him back. Bryan says due to last week's actions, it appears that Ziggler has voluntarily relinquished the title. Bryan tells Ziggler, if he's watching, that they all wish him the best of luck. Fans chant for Rusev. Bryan says Ziggler is undoubtedly one of the all-time greats, but they need to move forward. Bryan announced a tournament to crown a new U.S. champion, and that tournament starts tonight. Bryan announced Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode as the first round match. He goes to announce another match, but the music interrupts, and out comes Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Gable says he's so happy for the U.S. title, but they're wondering what Bryan is going to do about the SmackDown Tag Team title situation. Fans chant for Rusev again. Bryan brings up their recent title shot, and they complain about the other teams being in the match. They bring up their non-title win over the Usos last week and say that they proved that they would have been champions if the match was on the line, if the titles were on the line. But they wasn't even in the Clash match either. They entered the ring with Bryan now and said that they've earned, interrupted by Aiden English on the mic as he came out with Rusev. Another loud chant for Rusev Day starts up. They sing about earning a title shot in Rusev Day until the New Day interrupts. Out they come to a pop. New Day also go on about earning a title shot. Rusev gets a big pop when telling New Day to shut up. This back and forth leads to Bryan announcing a triple threat for right now. The winners will become new #1 contenders to the Usos. Bryan calls for a referee, and out comes the Usos for commentary. #1 contender triple threat. New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus Rusev and Aiden English. Xavier starts off with Aiden English and Chad Gable. They come over and shove Woods off the apron, but he shoves back. Gable gets shoved into Rusev, and they argue. Gable turns his attention to Aiden English, but we get more stalling from all three teams. Fan chant, we want Rusev now. Big E stands tall after a quick brawl at ringside. Woods runs the ropes and does a dive, taking out Benjamin, English, Rusev, and Gable. Woods brings English back into the ring and covers for a 2 count. Big E tags in and power bombs Woods onto English for another 2 count. Gable with a big double German suplex for a 2 count on Big E as English was also laid out. Shelton and Gable double stomp on Big E in the corner. Benjamin keeps control of Big E and delivers a suplex for a 2 count. Rusev ends up stomping away on Big E in the corner until Gable and Benjamin send him to the floor to booze. They double team Big E next and drop him with a jumping knee. And with Benjamin getting a 2 count on Big E. Gable comes in and works over Big E in the corner. English comes over and has some words with Gable. Fan chat for CM Punk now. They are in the Windy City, or near the Windy City. Big E counters and drops English and Gable at the same time. Woods gets a hot tag and unloads on English and Gable. Woods ends up hitting a rolling elbow, but the pin is broken. Gable and Benjamin double team Woods in the corner. English gets launched into Rusev on the apron. Benjamin with a big spine buster on English. Big E gets knocked off the apron, but Gable turns around to a running boot from English after dropping Woods on his head. Rusev gets a big pop as he tags in. Rusev unloads on both Woods and Gable. Rusev keeps control and takes out Benjamin when he runs in. Fan chant for Rusev as he stands tall after clearing the ring. Rusev runs the ropes for a dive, but Gable stops him coming in from the apron. Gable ends up hitting a big German on Rusev. Woods and English both tag in. Woods drops English for a 2 count. Woods with a chop to Gable. Big E tags in, but Gable doesn't see it. They drop Gable with a big double team power move for a close 2 count. Fan chant, this is awesome after a close pin and more offense by Gable and Benjamin. More back and forth between all the teams. Woods kicks Gable in the mouth and comes in to hit a big DDT on him. English plants Woods and covers for a close 2 count as Shelton breaks up the pinfall. Shelton then takes English to the top as fan chant for Rusev Day again. Shelton goes for a superplex, but English hangs on. Gable climbs up with them for a double superplex, but Rusev runs over and powerbombs them both to the mat. English comes off the top with a big frog splash, but Gable kicks out at 2. English gets hyped up and tags in Rusev. Rusev stomps on Gable's back, but Woods rolls Rusev up for a 2 count. Rusev drops Woods with a big kick to the head. Rusev drags Woods on top of Gable. As the crowd pops, Rusev calls for it, stomps on Woods' back. Rusev applies a double accolade and holds it until Shelton breaks it with a kick to the head. Fans boo Shelton, but Shelton tags in and drops English off the apron. Big E ends up spearing Shelton off the apron to the floor. Big E rolls Shelton back in the ring and drops his straps for a pop. Fan chant for New Day. Big E goes for the big ending, but Shelton blocks it. Shelton then runs into an elbow. Big E goes up top, but Shelton runs up and nails him, probably with a high knee. Gable tags in, and they hit a big double team on Big E. Gable covers for the pin and become the new #1 contenders. After the match, Gable and Benjamin head up the ramp while celebrating as we go to replays. Again, you can go to that link that I showed you for the celebration. Tom confirmed that they will get their title shot in Orlando next week. We get General Manager Daniel Bryan watching the match backstage. Commissioner Shane McMahon walked in. Shane brings up something that Bryan said last week that upset him, that he's turning into his dad, Vince McMahon. Shane takes exception to that. He admits that Vince isn't the easiest guy to get along with. Shane says it's important that they stick to certain things. He says Vince and his management style can be ruthless. He can be a cold-hearted SOB, but you need to give the man his due. And he's built this empire brick by brick by himself. Shane says that Vince has changed sports entertainment into what it is today. He's revolutionized the business, and more importantly, he's Shane's father. Bryan agrees and says he's not trying to take away from Vince, but Shane has been throwing around his weight lately. Shane says kind of like Bryan did with the United States title tournament. Shane questions Bryan's logic as Corbin has a legitimate title shot. Shane says Bryan should have done Rude versus Corbin for the title. Bryan said that this is the land of opportunity and he thought he'd give a shot to several superstars. Shane can understand the logic now. He brings up tonight's Owens versus Styles main event. He says Bryan didn't ban Sami Zayn from ringside, so we know how this will turn out. Shane goes on and says perception is reality, and he wants to make sure that people don't think Bryan is showing favoritism, which they are saying. Shane wants to make sure that his GM is beyond reproach. Bryan says AJ versus Owens was one of the most vicious rivalries of 2017, so he thought that they would end the year with one match. Shane says, okay, and just stares at Bryan. So to come segment, Naomi versus Ruby Riott, also Rude versus Corbin in the U.S. title tournament. Tom leads us to Royal Rumble promo. And we get Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers. We go to the ring. Out comes Tyler Breeze with Fandango. Out next are Harper and Rowan. The bell rings and Harper starts off with Fandango. Fandango. He immediately tags in, but Breeze joins him for a rush attack. Rowan and Harper fight him off, and they get the upper hand. Harper with a big slam on Fandango. Rowan drives Breeze into the apron from the floor. We get a replay of that. Harper and Rowan double team Fandango, following a slap to the face from Harper to his partner. Rowan tags back in and did a double power bomb, but Rowan stops the pin from being counted. Harper tagged back in and knocked Fandango off the apron. Rowan went to the floor and sends Fandango into the apron. The match ended with Ascension coming out and carrying Breezango to the back, saving them from the Bludgeon Brothers. And that's where I come in. That's all the finish to that match. I got off work, 6 o'clock. Went to pick up my daughter from babysitter and come in, log in to my computer and saw that match. Well, so to come, Ruby Riott versus Naomi. And we see Naomi walking backstage. Dasha Fuentes tries to interview Breezango backstage, but the Ascension stops her, saying that they are in no shape to be interviewed. They refer to Breezango as their best friends and say the Bludgeon Brothers went too far tonight. The Ascension issues a challenge to the Bludgeon Brothers for next week for a rematch against Breezango and warns them to get ready for the wasteland. Corey Graves leads us to a video package of Stephanie McMahon's recent announcement on the Women's Royal Rumble match. Then we get Ruby Riott versus Naomi. We go back to the ring. Out comes Riott Squad, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan. Then we get a sidebar video with Ruby announcing herself for the Women's Royal Rumble match. Naomi was out next. The bell rings and they unload on each other in the middle ring with strikes. Ruby drops Naomi and works her over. Naomi comes back and gets a close 2 count. Liv gets on the apron, but Naomi knocks her off. Logan also tries to get involved, but it backfires, but allows Ruby to kick Naomi in the back of the knee. This leads to Ruby hitting the right kick for the win. Quick win. After the match, Ruby Riott celebrates as we go to replays. The Riott Squad attack Naomi. Next, until the music hits, out comes SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Flair meets Logan at ringside and clotheslines her. She enters the ring and tackles Riott, but Liv comes from behind. Flair takes Liv down next and works her over. Logan returns to the ring and the numbers game catches up with Flair. They triple team her. Riott Squad dance hall as some fans boo. Their music is interrupted by Natalia's music as she comes out with Tamina Snuka, Lana, and Carmella. The two sides face off in the middle of the ring. Ruby backs her squad out of the ring as the fans boo them. Natalya, Lana, Tamina, and Carmella talk trash as the Riott Squad leaves. They suddenly hit the floor and beat the Riott Squad down. Ruby, Liv, and Logan retreat. Renee Young backstage with AJ. Fans in the arena chant AJ's name loudly. AJ doesn't care if Daniel Bryan is showing favorites because when he steps in the ring, he is the favorite. AJ says he started the year as champion and he's ending it as champion. So if Kevin Owens wants to have Sami Zayn lurking in his corner tonight, that's fine because this is the land of opportunity. AJ then says a shot isn't going to be handed to Owens because that's not how it works in life or when you're on the same brand as AJ Styles. AJ says if Owens is going to beat him tonight, he's going to have to outwork him, outsmart him, and out-hustle him. AJ says that didn't happen in 2017, and it won't happen tonight. AJ says 2018 will be no different because SmackDown will still be the house that he built. AJ walked off. U.S. title tournament first round match. Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin. We got a ring. Out comes Bobby Roode for a pop for the first of 2 matches to take place in the first round of the U.S. title tournament tonight. Baron Corbin was out next. Bell rings in the lockup. Roode ends up dropping Corbin first and unloading on him. Corbin goes to the floor for a breather. Corbin goes back in, but Roode goes right back to work on him and hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. Corbin goes back to the floor for another breather. Corbin pulls Roode out by his leg and rams him back into the apron. Corbin launches Rude into the barrier and talks some trash as fans react. Corbin stops the count and goes back to grab Rude. Corbin hangs Rude upside down on the ropes. Upside down the ring, facing the crowd. Corbin with a big blow to the gut. Corbin rolls Rude back into the ring and then backs him into the corner. Corbin delivers a big right hand in the corner. Corbin charges and rams Rude into the corner again. Corbin one more offensive right hand that sends Rude back to the mat. Corbin stands tall as some fans boo him. Rude fights up and nails a few chops to the chest. Corbin catches Rude with a side slam for a 2 count. Corbin keeps Rude grounded on the mat with a bear hug. Wrestle. Rude tries to fight out, but Corbin tosses him out of the ring. Still with a bear hug, just tosses him out of the ring. Rude tries to fight back in from the apron, but Corbin knocks him back to the floor with a forearm. Corbin follows and nails a big running clothesline on the floor. Corbin talks trash, rolls Corbin back in, and rolls him back in the ring. Corbin returns to the ring himself and wastes some time and runs into a boot from Rude. Rude pulls the top rope down and Corbin lands on his feet outside the ring. Corbin comes back in, but Rude finally clotheslines him over the top back to the floor. Rude jumps off the apron and Rude gets countered back down to the floor. Referee counts. Rude brings Corbin back in the ring and clotheslines him into the corner. Corbin blocks a bulldog attempt. Corbin runs into boots in the corner. Rude with a blockbuster from the top for a close 2 count. Corbin comes back and sends Rude shoulder first into the ring post. Rude ends up countering into Dace. Finisher. Corbin runs out and back in, but Rude nails a big spine buster. Fans pop for Rude as he calls for the glorious DDT. Corbin countered the DDT and hits a deep 6 for a close 2 count. We get a replay of that. As the fans chanting for Rude as Corbin grabs him and takes him back in the corner. Corbin climbs up for a superplex, but Rude fought him off. Rude keeps fighting and headbutts Corbin back to the mat. Rude comes off the top, but Corbin catches him in midair and then blocks a shot and rolls. Rude blocks a shot from Corbin and rolled him up with a schoolboy pin for the 3 count. And Rude advances in the tournament. After the match, Rude exits the ring, celebrates as his music plays. Corbin looks on for the ring as we go to replay. Ty Dillinger versus Jinder Mahal will also take place tonight in the first round. We get to our first commercial break of the night. U.S. title tournament, first round, Ty Dillinger versus Jinder Mahal. Back from the break, and out comes the Singh brothers to introduce Jinder Mahal as our next U.S. champion. Out comes the modern-day Maharaja. Well, let me say it the way the Singh brothers went. Maharaja. Ty Dillinger was out next, the Perfect 10 guy, as we get a sidebar video with his comments on winning the title. The bell rings and Jinder Mahal takes Ty down first. Ty comes back with a 2 count of his own. Back and forth, Jinder ends up on the floor for a breather. We go to commercial. Back from the break, Jinder has Dillinger grounded. We see the vacant U.S. title on display at ringside. Dillinger fights back, mounts some offense on Jinder. Dillinger unloads with stomps to the gut in the corner as the fans go along with him. Ty goes for a tiebreaker after exposing his knee, but it's blocked. Ty goes up top, hits a crossbody, but Jinder rolls through for a 2 count. Jinder scoops Ty up and drops him into a big gut buster at a close 2 count. Ty comes back with a counter and a DDT for a pin attempt. Jinder comes back and ends up hitting the collar for the pinfall and advances to the second round. After the match, Jinder goes to the corner and points at the title while talking trash to the camera. We go to commercial. Joshua Fuentes is with Kevin Owens and Tammy backstage. Owens has a bottle of champagne for after tonight's main event win. Owens says this is a special bottle, the one that Daniel Bryan wouldn't take from them last week. Owens says that the last time he faced AJ was a special referee. You know, the one that has lost a lot of money and likes to shuffle his feet around. Vince McMahon's son. Owens says Shane did everything he could to make sure Owens lost that match, but tonight he will do whatever it takes. And he has a guardian angel on his side. Owens says Bryan believes in them and knows they will need this champagne for tonight. Owens says he will prove he's better than the phenomenal tonight. Sammy gives a double yep in response. Yep. Owens says Dasha has no one in Chicago. Dasha and no one in Chicago is invited to their celebration tonight. Owens says he and only Sammy are invited to the celebration. You know, because they wouldn't want it to seem like they were gloating or anything. Owens walks off, and Sammy follows after another yep to Dasha. Renee Young's backstage with Randy Orton. Orton says he's dealing with everyone's issue, but his own lately. He's been sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, and he has himself to worry about now. Orton says he's looking forward to the future and is concerning himself with throwing 29 other superstars off the top rope, or over the top rope. Orton officially enters himself into the Royal Rumble match. Shinsuke Nakamura appears and apparently announces himself for the match with a "Let's Rumble" chant line before walking off, leaving Orton looking confused. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens was up next. We go to the ring. Out comes WWE Champion AJ Styles for the final WWE TV main event of 2017. That's the commercial. Back from the break, Greg Hamilton does the introductions as Kevin Owens is out for his non-title match. Along with Sami Zayn, the bell rings and Owens charges, but AJ drops him with a drop kick. AJ keeps control and drops a big knee. Owens stalls some, but briefly turns it around. AJ takes him to the corner and works him over. Owens drops AJ face first in the corner. Fans do dueling chants. Now AJ goes for an early calf crusher, but Owens gets to the bottom rope for the escape. Owens gets to the floor to regroup with Sammy, and some fans are booing. AJ goes to the floor, takes Owens down, staring at Sammy. As Sammy talks trash, AJ brings Owens back in the ring and works on the left leg some. AJ catches a kick, but Owens kicks him through the ropes to the floor. We get a replay as the referee counts. Owens follows and runs over Styles on the floor. Sammy celebrates after talking some more trash to AJ and stalking him a bit. Back to the break, Owens has AJ grounded on the mat. AJ fights up and out, but Owens beats him down, covers for a 2 count. Owens keeps AJ grounded with a headlock now. AJ comes back with a counter, slamming Owens on his face. AJ charges but misses in the corner. Owens runs into boots in the corner. AJ with more offense, but Owens quickly cuts him off with a big clothesline for a 2 count. Owens then drops AJ over his knee with a neck breaker. AJ kicks out at 2. Owens charges at AJ, but AJ drops Owens over his knee. Sammy starts to show frustration at ringside. AJ and Owens trade shots in the middle of the ring now. AJ with more strikes to take Owens down. AJ with a flying forearm. AJ with a flying shot into the corner. AJ calls for the Styles Clash, but is countered. AJ slides out of a move and connects with a Pele kick. AJ ends up on the apron and nails the forearm. AJ comes in, but Owens turns it around with a gutbuster and a big springboard elbow from the second rope. Owens with a 2 count. AJ with more offense and another close 2 count. AJ leaps onto the floor, takes out Sammy. AJ grabs Owens and runs him into the steel ring post. AJ rolls Owens back in the ring and goes to the apron. So Sammy gets on the apron. AJ swings but misses. Owens takes advantage and drops AJ with a super kick for a very close 2 count. Owens and Sammy can't believe it. Shane McMahon comes down to the ring. Now, Shane talks to the referee and has Sammy ejected from ringside. Well, but he doesn't leave. AJ has Owens rolled up for the pin, but the referee doesn't see it because of Shane's distraction and Sammy. This allows Owens to roll the distracted AJ up for non-title pin. As the referee did see that for the pinfall. After the match, a frustrated AJ looks on as Sammy and Owens celebrate at ringside. Shane watches from the ramp and is not happy. AJ leaves the ring and stops to look at Shane real quick. Shane watches as Owens and Sammy have the time of their lives in the ring while Owens' music plays. Final SmackDown goes off the air with Sammy and Owens hugging. Well, I read somewhere that Jinder Mahal actually won this U.S. tournament. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I've read it somewhere. So, whatever. And 205 results recap of Enzo Amore and the rest of the Zoe train beating up Tony Nese from a few weeks ago, followed up by a recap of backstage promo between Cedric Alexander and Enzo. The two will meet next Monday for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Locker room, we see Galak looking at his phone, and in comes Alexander. He wonders if Galak is waiting for his boss to call. Galak says he's waiting for his best friend to call because he's not on tonight's show. Alexander then paints a picture of 205 Live without Enzo as champion, and how it will be better 205 Live for everyone, especially Galak, who won't get talked down to or made to dress up like an elf. Galak seems to ponder. This is Alexander's. Heads out. Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness welcome up to the show. They preview Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa along with Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak and Ariya Daivari. The first matchup is Hideo Itami versus Jack Gallagher. We see footage from last night's show where Itami legitimately fractured Brian Kendrick's orbital bone and nasal bridge. Gallagher says he's got to witness first hand Itami's aggressiveness, and he could hear Kendrick's face break. Despite that, Gallagher says he'll teach Itami a lesson. He backs Itami into the ropes and slaps him. Itami slaps him right back and lands some more kicks, and one right to the back. Nope, two to the back. Respect me, Itami yells. Gallagher with a takedown. He gets a foot right into the face and sends him to the apron. More boots followed up by a big leg drop across the back of the head. Goes for another kick. Gallagher rolls to the outside, pulls the apron up, and yanks it from under Itami's feet. Gallagher is able to grind away at his opponent and keep him grounded. Crowd's getting restless with a "this is awful" chant as Gallagher really looks to slow things down. Itami with a dragon screw leg whip with a release fisherman suplex. Back elbow by Gallagher. Runs right into a kick. Itami on the top rope. Hits a flying clothesline. Pin for a 2 count. Gallagher on the apron now. Drapes Itami's neck over the top rope and goes right into a captain's hook. Itami is able to claw his way to the bottom rope to break the hold. Gallagher gets dropped in the corner. A running drop kick. Respect me. Rings of Saturn on. Gallagher taps out in the middle of the ring. Winner of the match, Hideo Itami by submission. Recap for 2 weeks ago when Enzo was super offended by Zoe Train. Tried to have a meeting without him. This eventually led to the group beating up Nese. Gulak doing it very reluctantly though. Backstage segment with Dr. Ventez talking with Tony Nese and asks if he's still a member of the Zoe Train. Nese says the next time he says Enzo, Daivari, or Gulak, part of him wants to lay them all out. But the other part understands that Enzo is a superstar and his career has only gone up since joining the group. He doesn't really answer the question. Tozawa shows up and asks again if he's on or off the train and gets popped in the face. So we get that match, Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa. Tozawa goes to quick kick to get us started in the match. But Nese recovers quickly with a clothesline, back and forth chops, Tozawa with a big kick, running senton. Nese to the outside. Tozawa tried for a suicide dive and found a boot to the face. Action back in on the inside. Nese was some stomps and a leg drop. Pin for a 2. Big Irish whip into the corner by Nese. Goes right into a body scissors submission. Nese seems to be in control, mocking the "ah" chant, but ends up getting suplexed for messing around. Nese goes to the apron, gets knocked off. Tozawa with another suicide dive. Hitting it this time, he instantly throws Nese back in, goes for a pin, only gets a 2 count. Akira then goes for a forearm to the face, returns fire with a kick, but Nese tries for a sneaky pin, only gets a 2 count. Tozawa with a spinning heel kick, heads up to the top rope. He's way too slow. Nese with a big palm strike, puts him into the corner, running knee, pin for the 1-2-3. Tony Nese wins by pinfall. Vic Joseph says he can't confirm it. It's possible Enzo wasn't here because he had a date tonight. We get a recap from last night. Brawl with Nia Jax and Enzo standing under the mistletoe. As they go for a kiss, Alexa Bliss broke up their moment. Ariya Daivari and Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali was next. Gulak jumped on the mic before the match and get started. He asked the crowd, "How are you doing?" and said that they represent the Zoe Train. Since the year is nearly over, it's time for us to reflect on the good and the bad. We then get to his PowerPoint presentation. Oh, never mind. Out comes Alexander and Ali. Every time, Glock yells. Alexander says sorry to interrupt, but he had to note they are in the hometown of Ali, which gets an okay pop, followed by an Ali chant. Glock yells, no chanting, Ali, and then says, if it wasn't for the Zoe train, DeVary and Glock wouldn't be friends. DeVary wouldn't be around, a blue-collar guy with Glock. Alexander and Ali try to stir the pot and say they are getting played by each other and by Enzo. Alexander then says if Enzo had to pick between the Zoe train and Nia Jax, who do you think he would go with? Ali and Glock get things going. Ali easily handles his opponent before bringing in Alexander. Double hip toss pin, only one count. Alexander then continues to go to work, tries for another quick pin. Just a one count. Ali is brought back in. Gets distracted by DeVary. Glock finally lands a big strike and tags his partner. Ali gets worked over by DeVary. Crowd with another Ali chant. Clearly behind him in this one. DeVary with a spine buncher, pin for a 2 count. Alexander brought back in. Gets hit to the apron. Knees to the face. Topples him down to the floor. DeVary chases. Sandals his head on the announce table. Action back in the ring, and Glock is then tagged in. Big stomp, pin for a 2 count. Alexander with a nice springboard flatliner to the slow crawl to his partner. Ali and DeVary both come in. Ali with multiple running chops, pop-up drop kick, takes to the air with a corkscrew splash. Action back into the ring, face buster pin. Glock runs over Ali and takes out Alexander. DeVary sits Ali up on the top rope, goes for a suplex, but Glock tells him to get down and ends up getting a lumbar check by Alexander. DeVary gets dumped to the mat. 0-54 by Ali for the victory. After the match, Alexander and Ali celebrate as Alexander says he's the next champion. Dark match main event after SmackDown in Chicago saw WWE champion AJ Styles and Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Jinder Mahal, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens in a 6-man action. SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan was a special referee and got a big pop for doing the too sweet gesture with Styles. Oh, that was also the Balor Club. And that concludes my SmackDown and 205 Live results for this week. See you one on via. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.